Greetings YouTube land, let's look at Neon Chrome. Now Neon Chrome was available for free for download as part of PlayStation Plus if you have it, so a lot of people may already have this game. Me, I bought it before it was free for download. Thanks for that Sony. So Neon Chrome is a dual stick shooter. You basically run around a big building with randomised levels and shoot everything in sight. Well, you don't have to. Your actual objective is to get to the end of every level and obviously beat each area's boss, but you don't actually have to shoot everybody in sight. You don't have to. It's good fun though, so you probably will. So this is the central hub area where you'll start the game from every time you play. Now I've already played this game quite a bit. As you can see, I've notched up 27 hours of playtime and I've gotten all the way to Overseer version 4. The Overseer being the ultimate boss of the game, and that means I've beaten him 3 times. I haven't yet beaten version 4 though. These are all the upgrades you can purchase, the cash you pick up in the levels. You can buy additional levels to each of these qualities. And at the top here you've got some trophies here. I'm still missing 2 of the trophies. I haven't been able to get those 2. Complete all special levels and unlock all unlockables. Those are the only 2 I'm missing. You can also purchase weapons, abilities and upgrades ahead of going into the level. If you're not satisfied with the ones that your characters come pre-built with, you can select your own here. You have to buy them, but you can go into a level and customise your character a little bit more. So when you're ready to play the next game, you get back into the immersion chair. Now I went here for the hacker. You get a companion drone and you can unlock purple lock boxes. It's the only character that can. So here's my operative. So I don't go into the level personally, I control an operative separately from the main game. It's not me risking my neck, I'm controlling someone else. This is the level layout. You can see that the game's divided into 6 regions and we're starting at region 1. There's 4 levels and level 5 is the boss. That's the diamond shape at the end. Level layouts are randomly generated in this level. In this game, sorry. It's randomly generated. So I've already got a weapon there. I think that's a railgun. I think it's a railgun. So that little thing following me around is my companion drone. Picking up some cash. Destroying a generator there. I don't think that did anything. So we've got some drones here on the ground. Shooting them with... I'm not sure if it's an assault rifle. I think it's a submachine gun. There's a submachine gun, an assault rifle, a burst rifle and a shotgun. Those are your standard weapons. You get versions of those that are effective against people, versions that are effective against robots and faster firing versions. I've set my upgrades up so that enemies have a chance of dropping grenades, which is why some of them are dropping grenades when they die. That guy threw a grenade at me, that's different. Trying to get through a gap there. There wasn't a gap there for me to get through. So these things on the floor mines, just blow up the big orange canister, takes them all out in one go. Now these purple drones, they shatter into 2 smaller drones when you kill the main one, which is what I'm being harassed by at the moment. Another drone. So my companion drone is working for me as well. The blue stuff is energy, which allows me to use, in this case it's a psycho dart, which sends organic enemies a bit nuts. They can't tell friend from foe anymore. Unfortunately at this stage I've literally just picked up the game fresh from not playing it for ages. And so I can't remember how to launch the Psycho Dart. We've got a reinforcement wave incoming. That's the timer at the top centre of the screen. Guy with a rocket launcher coming at me. Not making this very easy. So I don't have to take out the reinforcements, but they will get here very imminently. And here they come. Reinforcements have arrived, so more enemies will arrive behind me most likely. They usually arrive from the entry point. Guys with riot shields. Frontal attacks usually don't work. Guy with the grenade launcher, and okay. So now it's just getting chaotic. I got stuck against the corner there. Oh, and I got shotgunned to death. So that lasted a long time. I get to keep the cash, but otherwise connection is lost. I'm back to the hub area, and here I am. So I've only lost the operative. I haven't lost me. I'm still in one piece, which is good. So going back in, trying again. We've got the cyber guy who gets a greater choice of enhancements at terminals. Got a techie that has a shield that regenerates. We've got a soldier who carries a riot shield. And they've all got their own primary weapon and special ability, you'll notice. Again, the weapons and special abilities can be changed before you go into the level. And heading into Area 1 again. As I said before, the layout of the game changes. It's randomised each time, so here we go. Some cash, that's a laser field. I don't know if the switch is there. I think the switch looks like it's purple, so I may need the hacker. And I don't think I picked the hacker, did I? I picked the soldier. Again, guys with riot shields, you can attack them from behind or melee them. Either way, they're a bit of a pain in the neck. Right, now this is... oh, no, more soldiers. You often find this, you move forwards and then suddenly you get hit by another bunch of enemies. Right, as I was saying, this is a cybernetic enhancement system. It gives you a choice of 3 upgrades. And that one converts damage to energy. That one is like a health gambler for the health terminals. I've gone for the close range electrical zappy power. You're getting close to an enemy and it electrocutes them. It makes stealth impossible, but it does light damage to anything that's stupid enough to get near you. So that guy had a key, which is why he was way tougher than the others. I think there is a door back there with it in, but I decided not to do it. So these laser fields shave your health off faster than you can blink, which is why I'm not just running through them. Never run straight through the lasers like this. Exit elevator in green. And on to the next level. Another upgrade terminal. So this one disables all robots. That one attracts grenades. One of my favourites is that, the grenade attractor power. The other one on the end there splinters your bullets into more shrapnel. Into shrapnel basically, yeah. Each shrapnel piece does less damage than the whole, but you've less chance of missing. Kind of like turning an assault rifle into sort of like a weak shotgun. New gun, more powerful. Nanite swarms are incredibly resistant to damage from your firearms, but a single grenade will nuke them in one move. It's by far the easiest way of dealing with things. It's the main reason I carry grenades everywhere with me. Well, that little rocket launchers. And the guy with the riot shield. So the enemies are tending to stay nearer to my grenades when I throw them now. So that guy with the... Yeah, that was my mistake. I threw the grenade, it bounced off a wall, right back in my own face and blew me up. Great. So you can kill yourself in this game. Yellow key, save that for later. Vampire booster, definitely save that for later. So take out the nano swarm as quickly as possible. Notice that the enemies don't respond immediately to your presence, and you can fool them by going around walls. There's my electro zappy defense close range thingamajig. Whatever it's called, I can't remember. Omni Zapper or something. Now I'm going to grab the vampire booster, I think. Am I? Yes, I am. So now anything within that red ring drains health from an enemy, damaging them, but it replenishes my health at the same time, which is why I'm trying to get close to the enemy rather than just outright killing them. So that green elevator takes me on to the next level. However, some of the levels have this, a purple elevator. The purple elevators... wow, that grenade did nothing. The purple elevators effectively lead to kind of like a bonus level. And bonus levels are usually set up with extra nasty little things in place, but they usually have better loot, so if your health is alright, which mine isn't at the moment, you should be alright. This is the R&D bonus level. This is actually a very simple level. There's not much here. You can see me being here a bit tentative. I'm trying to be a bit careful because I'm not quite sure what this level has in store for me, and it turns out that there's absolutely nothing tricky about this place. You just go in, you shoot everybody, you grab the stuff. Most bonus levels are a lot more interesting than this. So, sorry about that. Oh yeah, and these are little mini terminals, so you can change your ability out to the one that it gives you, or it gives you another little reward. In that case, it's cash. So notice how I was able to perform a sneak attack against one enemy and the other two didn't even bat an eyelid. Another upgrade. So you can install 10 upgrades maximum unless you're the Cyber Psycho, in which case your maximum limit is 12. That one gives me a chance that every explosive I fire will spawn little mini sub-munitions. Every grenade or rocket that detonates has... is it a 30% chance, did it say? I can't remember. But a chance to spawn 3 mini grenades, which is incredibly dangerous. Especially since I've already got the enemy set up to drop grenades anyway. So the fighting in this next bit is pretty hectic, and yeah, it can get more hectic than this. Massive heavy armoured guy with the assault rifle managed to take him out. What's more, enemies waiting up ahead. You think there's only 2? Think again. So I've now just invited an entire swarm and my health is practically gone. Your health is the circle, is the ring around your feet, by the way, and there I go. I didn't have much health left. You can get overwhelmed pretty damn quickly in this game. There's a million enemies waiting in the levels to kill you. Right, so I've skipped ahead in the video a little bit, just a bit of healing first, because this is the boss. The boss has just been injured by an explosion, which was rather unfortunate. I wasn't quite ready for it. So this boss is basically a 4-legged walking spider tank. And it follows you around and shoots you. It's not that sophisticated at this level in the game, and remember that we're on Overseer level 4, so this is pretty high level stuff. Masses of chain reaction grenades going off. That's enemy dropping grenades and grenades splintering. That's what all that is about. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to destroy the vents on the walls, because those little mini robot spider drones will keep on appearing until I destroy those things. They're not a major threat, but they are a bloody nuisance. So trying to get rid of those. Meanwhile, the tank has ripped most of the environment to shreds, so I haven't got anything to hide against anymore. My health is okay though. I've just taken out the first third of the enemy's health gauge. Bosses in this game have multiple... well, they only have 1 health gauge, but they have 3 segments, and every time you get rid of a segment, they move to the next phase. As you can see, his main weapon is a lot more... well, it's a lot harder to dodge for a start. It's like a super shotgun that he's firing. You get too near him and he engages an area effect attack. Yeah, he's just ripping every wall to shreds. It's worth pointing out at this point that this game used to be the boss here, and one boss later on, like there's a hover tank later on, and the bosses used to be a damn sight harder than this. I think it's phase 3 of this boss fight that has been toned down hugely, because phase 3 used to be downright lethal, and here we go, phase 3. And what's he gonna do? Well, he basically reverts back to the same kind of attack that he was doing before. They've really nerfed this guy. And I can't help but wondering that they went a bit overboard, because while the original version of this boss was hard, it wasn't impossible. It was nowhere near impossible. You can take this guy. Well, it's even easier to take now. Yep, and there goes his health gauge. You just make sure you back off, because otherwise you'll get hit by that explosion. And now I get a first aid kit. So that was boss number 1. Another thing I really love about this game, if you look at the walls, they're different thicknesses. The thinnest of walls can be broken, and that means you can come up behind enemies and sneak attack them like that. It's brilliant. It does also mean that the enemies can destroy those walls. At this point I'm trying to decide whether I want that shotgun or not. Yeah, I don't want it. So it's just not as powerful. The enemies can be snuck up on in this game, and you can actually play Ring Around the Roses with them. You can run around one side of a very small wall and hide round the other side and then come up behind them. Again, reminding you that this is Overseer version 4, there's a hell of a lot of enemies in this room. I do remember this bit being very hectic. I think that guy had a railgun. There's 2 main weapons that have a laser that the enemy uses a laser for. One of them is that's a railgun. That shoots straight through most things. It does a fair amount of damage, but it will hit you through obstacles. Sometimes the enemy's even smart enough to shoot through things. I'm just getting rid of the last spider bot, and the area is finally clear. So another one of these loot columns, so it's giving me a choice between cash or a free health upgrade. Normally you have to purchase those back in the hub area, but every so now and again you come across one of those terminals that gives you something. Smash vending machines, they give you a little bit of cash. Sneaking up behind an enemy, so melee attacks are relatively quiet as long as the enemy... Stealth is possible in this game, but there's an objective on the trophy list, which is get through an entire level without being spotted. It's insanely hard to do. You can give yourself an advantage by picking the stealth character if the game makes it available to you, because it doesn't always. And you can purchase, there's another like stealth power that you can purchase to render yourself invisible whenever you stand still. But overall it's not that easy to do, and it's not the way I'd recommend anybody to play this game. It was just a pain in the ass to play using stealth. Bunch of enemies over there, but no advantage to going over there, so I didn't. Okay, so the Overseer, being the kind and generous soul that he is, obviously, has spread mines all throughout this floor. Now, there are 2 types of mines. One type of mine is sort of a red colour, and it only detonates when you step right on it. The other type of mine has a ring around it, which means it has a proximity sensor. This might be a good time to point out that I have absolutely no health left. My health is represented by the ring around my feet, around my character's feet, and it's at 0. And I just got shredded by a grenade. So I must have less than 0 right now. I can barely see it on screen. Jesus. Tons of damage, and there's a guy with an assault rifle. So I went near that mine to detonate it on purpose so that I could get back through. And yeah, 21 points of health out of 1,332. I have less than 1% health. Like, one hit from anything will do me in. Fortunately, this guy is stupid enough to get in close. So just set that mine off. The mines that are proximity based like that, you can set off. Unfortunately, I have a slow field active around me. That's what that ring is that's orbiting me. 22 health. That's slowing enemies down when they get near me, which is increasing my odds of survival. But honestly, I should have been dead like 30 seconds ago. But the enemies are being stupid enough to follow me into that little choke point. So I shouldn't be alive by rights right now. So there's a guy with a railgun. One hit from that and I'm definitely dead. Grenade. Right. Don't go near that, it's a mine. So, still living. Set that mine off. Grab the thing. Oh, loads of enemies. Fortunately, most of them can't fly. So I'm using, if you notice, I'm using my grenades to keep the enemy at a distance. And there's a guy with a shotgun, and yeah. As soon as I saw that guy with the shotgun, I knew I was dead. But again, you get to keep the cash. So, at least you don't exit the level with absolutely nothing. Yet again, I remind everybody that I've been playing with Overseer version 4. I'm now going to turn the level down so that you get to see what it's like when you guys will actually start the game. Because I've been playing on the hardest setting effectively. The Overseer version is kind of like version 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of like easy, normal, hard and very hard. We've been playing on very hard. So I've just dialed it down to version 1 and the hub area resets and we'll see what this is like. Ignore that, that's not right. That's just telling me how far I've gotten. Welcome to Overseer version 1. I'm using I believe I'm using the hacker character. And the first thing you may notice is, well, I've walked through 5 or 6 rooms already and there's been no enemies. There's some mines there. Nasty trap. And finally we encounter some enemies. So this is more like what it will be if you start the game from scratch, because this is literally me starting it from scratch. You can see that the enemies are exploding with just like 1, maybe 2 hits. I just used a sonic stun power there to stun those enemies, make it easier on myself. New weapon. Well, that weapon's quite a big improvement actually. It's very unusual to get a weapon that's such an improvement. As you can see, I'm just scything through these enemies now. They're no obstacle compared to the others. You'll notice that they're all minimal, small, low-level drones. None of the guys with grenade launchers or rocket launchers like there were before. It's just a lot easier. So this is more like the experience you'll have when you first start the game. Now, having said that, you will still die a lot, but you'll find it a lot easier going. It's quite fun though to dial up the difficulty setting, because after a while this kind of thing it becomes so easy that you just don't want to bother with it after a while. If it's not a challenge, then you don't really want to engage, you know what I mean? So I'm going to end this video roughly around this point. I'm going to say some things in closing. Neon Chrome is a brilliant dual stick shooter. It's very polished. That's the best word I can come up with. It's extremely well polished. Everything is very slickly done. There are definite rules about how things work, like those canisters exploding. You've got a wide array. You can only have one primary weapon at a time, but you've got your special abilities and all the other little powers that support you in battle. And if you're the hacker, I suppose a drone as well. The enemies, as you've seen, get tougher as you play further into the game. You'll encounter more railguns, more rocket launchers, but you can always counter those enemies with the various weapons and abilities that you get. You can play through the game multiple times as well, which adds to its longevity. It's not the kind of the game that I get bored at. This isn't the kind of game that I just think to myself, oh, for God's sake, I just don't want to do this anymore. It's fun. It's fun and it's well worth a look if you like this kind of game. It's a great little example. Oh yeah, and you can hack certain panels if you're the hacker. I didn't mention that before because it didn't occur before. Anyway, that's it. That's been Neon Chrome, and I will see you next time.